deer walk through here?
Uh,
There's deer that come by this spot?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they come.
Oh. Well, we can just ignore that thing and just sit here and talk, I guess.
Is it recording now?
It is.
Oh,
yeah.
it is?
Yeah. But
All right.
I don't know if you ever told me much about your time growing up.
Oh,
You were born here in Silver, weren't you?
yeah, grew up, the house was what we call the big ditch. And Dad had put car bodies along the ditch there to stop it from flooding and washing the bank away.
Now, is this the house on Silver
Mhm.
Street? Same place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you always.
I remember playing outside. The ditch was neat because it, was soft loam dirt, and I could build roads for cars, and had my cars. But I was outside playing one morning early, probably before daylight, and they set the atomic bomb off in White Sands. Scared me. I ran into the house and told Mother, so she said, it's not the mine. Said, don't worry about it, it'll be all right. But yeah, I remember that.
Was Grandpa working at the mines at that time?
I don't remember if he did or if he was working as a mechanic, because he had the shop there, but I remember the blast broke windows in the shop. He had glass and
Wow.
broke windows.
What year were you born?
Huh?
What year were you born?
I was born in 1938.
38.
Yeah,
So they tested that bomb, I think in 45.
somewhere in there.
I
yeah.
think so. I think it was 45. Or
Yeah, I like to play outside. In fact, since then, I've wondered why I was outside playing that early in the morning, before daylight, actually.
yeah.
But, yeah,
Well, you would have been in school by that age. So maybe it was before school, you think?
yeah,
Did you?
they set the bomb off there. Mother, I ran in the house, and Mother said, now, that was the mine, don't worry about it. I thought, no, that was too big a blast to be the mine.
She thought it was the mine?
She thought it was the mine.
Yeah. Did anybody know what it was?
Nobody knew
Nobody
till-
knew because they were
Till later, yeah,
because it was still secret at that time, right?
right.
Yeah.
But it shook the ground, and broke the windows.
Yeah.
I've often wondered if, and I can't think of his name, that developed the bomb, if he knew. I don't think he did. I don't think he knew the power or the, what was going to happen when they set it off.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Well, I think some had speculated that it could set the atmosphere on fire, that they just weren't quite sure.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but they also knew that Russia or Germany could be working on it as well. And so they were kind of in a position, you know, where if they weren't the first one to get it, then it could have been a problem.
It'd been a problem,
Yeah,
was it?
yeah. So, you've always been very artistic. Did you do art as a child? Was it something you were interested in as a child?
Yeah, I don't remember drawing anything back then. That's interesting. Like, but yeah, I love to draw. I remember sitting in the living room floor, drawing pictures and coloring them. Mother and Dad, I guess there was bedrooms, but there was a living room and a kitchen. Just inside the kitchen, Mother used to keep baby chickens. They'd buy 100 chickens at farmer's market, and she had a cardboard box, I guess, and had these chickens in it. And I remember Sylvia, my sister, got one and bit its head off.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But yeah,
Were they growing them for meat or to sell, or what were they?
she raised them she kept the hens
Yeah,
for the eggs
yeah.
and butchered the males,
Butchered the roosters.
the roosters
Yeah.
for meat.
And then did you have a freezer that you kept the roosters in? Like a big freezer to put them in, or did she just butcher them a little bit at a time?
She just killed a few of them at a time.
Yeah. I remember you lived in Oklahoma for a while there at, I guess it was Phyllis's mother's place.
Yeah, Phyllis
And we went to visit you one summer, and you had chickens there, and I
Yeah.
remember y'all killed 1 or 2 chickens at that time and plucking them and getting them ready and everything. It was a bit of work to
Yeah,
get it.
we did.
get it
I
good.
had some chickens there. I forgot that, but yeah.
You had something. You had like a coop in the barn, I think, and you had some predator issues. And I remember you getting a possum.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time I ever saw a possum. I went out there and he was,
Yeah,
you shot him.
he was killing and eating the chicken.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that he ate them. He just killed them.
Yeah. And I think you may have had an issue with a skunk around there doing the same thing, but
Yeah.
that always stuck in my mind, killing those chickens and cooking them that way. And of course we went fishing quite a bit at that time. So I think there was 3 different fishing ponds on there.
Yeah, there was 3 ponds. They had little bass in them. The bass wouldn't get very big because of the ponds were small.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, that was a lot of
but
fun.
we fished in it, didn't we?
Yeah. Seemed like every evening we'd go to a different pond and fish. I had a great time doing that.
Yeah.
And then I know you had a garden there, and I think you were growing watermelons and I don't know what all. You were
Yeah, we did.
pickling things. I think you made pickled. What did you make? Pickled, was it okra, watermelon rind, or
Yeah,
all kinds of things?
all kinds of things. Watermelon rind, I haven't eaten those in years. Pickles are good.
Yeah.
They're pretty. They're sweet. Watermelon rind pickles.
And then they had a peach festival. Do you remember the peach festival?
I do.
And we went to that, and
Yeah.
Grandpa Dinwiddie went, and we tried different peaches, But, you know, they were all the different farmers, I guess, had different booths there. You could buy peaches from them, and
Yeah,
he would get out his pocket knife and cut a slice, and we'd try different ones, and they were so good.
yeah, right outside. I forget now, right outside where Phyllis and mother lived, they
Ada.
raised a lot of peaches.
Ada, Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that was a nice place, I thought.
yeah.
How old were you when you first started doing paintings?
When I first started painting,
Painting, yeah.
when I was real young, I think mother gave it to me for something to do. I'd sit in the living room and draw and paint. Yeah. But then, I got to doing it in school as a kid. So I love to paint.
Is that what you wanted to do when you were grown, to be an artist, or was there something else that you wanted to do for career?
I never thought about being a professional artist, but I never gave up doing art.
What did you want to do when you grew up, when you were a kid? What did you think? This is what I want to be someday. Or was
Well,
there
that's a good thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Mother, when I got old enough, now I don't remember if I was in a high school or out of high school, but mother sent me to live with my aunt, Norma,
Okay.
that lived in Ontario, California. And Convair, Norma's husband, found out that they had a apprentice program going on at Convair. So he enrolled me in that. And so I went to school for, I think it was almost 3 years. Learned to be a machinist.
This was before you finished high school?
No, it was after I finished high school.
Okay.
I finished high school here in
Yeah.
Sylvan.
And then you went to California.
Yeah, this was after that. And I don't know if I had you and do you remember any
Hey, Mr. Carlos?
Remember what?
houses or anything? Dad Knight? Someone named Dad Knight?
No. And
Anyway, Ray,
in California? No.
Ray and Norma.
No.
I lived with them.
I didn't know that you had lived in California.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I lived with them and went to school and worked at Convair as a machinist apprentice. For, I don't know how long. Oftentimes I thought I should have stayed. They liked me. There was 5 of us out of about 300 and something that they picked to do what they called experimentation. And so we got to work in Pomona and got to run different machines and everything. Yeah, that was quite an experience. I probably should have stayed,
Yeah.
but I got homesick, came back to Silver City and went to work on the railroad.
That was after 3 years in California. And then did you meet Barbara around that time when you got back? I mean, does this thing lock in place?
You know, that's a good question.
Lock
You know, I don't know. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I remember Norman and Ray lived in California. Somewhere in that time period, they moved back to Beard. And I lived with them, and Ray worked with Dad. And I remember he bought a valve grinding machine somewhere. Dad did. And for a while there, I would grind the valves. And I'd get valves and grind them. My dad would rebuild the motors.
He had his own shop at that time.
Yeah, he had a shop at that
Yeah.
time. Had a boring bar
Had a what?
to bore,
Oh, bore on the cylinders.
cylinder heads
Yeah.
of the machine,
Yeah.
motors.
So then, at some point, Rhonda came along.
Oh, Rhonda. You know, that's funny, I can't remember Rhonda and Cindy both. Rhonda's the oldest. Rhonda and Cindy and you.
Well, I'm Cindy's son, so I came along a good bit later. I come along in 76. It was Rhonda and Cindy, and then I guess Daryl later on.
Yeah,
I know you guys lived in Arizona at some point.
Arizona.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, I don't remember Arizona, but and yet I do remember Arizona, something about Arizona.
Yeah. Seemed like Mom told a story from when she was real little, maybe 3 years old, and you guys were living there. But I don't know how long that lasted. It may have just been a short time. She worked on the railroad here in Silver.
Most of the time,
Yeah.
I lived in Ontario, California for a while.
For the railroad? You were working for the railroad?
No, lived with Norman Ray,
Mm-hmm.
worked for Convair.
Yeah.
Ray wanted me to be a machinist. So he kept finding these apprentice programs, you know, that I could. So I did that for a while. Usually for Convair. And I still remember had a boss named Larry Shearer in the machine shop. And he liked me. Because I did a good job and was eager to learn. And yeah. Larry Shearer. I worked at Pomona in what they called experimentation. They had, Convair had a regular machine shop that they hired people to be machinists. But there was 5 of us that they hired as apprentices. So I got to run, instead of being just a regular machinist, I got to run all the different machines. Yeah,
Then you came back here and you worked for the railroad for a while?
I did.
How many years did you work for the railroad?
Oh, 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have, did you ever work for them, in Oklahoma, or was that all here in New Mexico?
It was all here in New Mexico.
Okay. I just have a very vagrant memory when I was real little, probably 2 or 3 years old. This would have been about 78, 79, somewhere in there. Seemed like we met you and you were on a train or something, and I got to go up there on the train with you just for a short little bit.
Yeah, that could have been here.
Yeah. And then, when you finished, did you get hurt on the railroad or something happened?
No. I can't remember being hurt on the railroad.
What happened that you stopped working for the railroad?
I don't know. I worked for them for 20 some odd years. I think I started during that period of time that I was working on the railroad. I went to school. I was going to school, doing ceramics, and so I started teaching part-time.
Seemed like you got some kind of a check from the railroad for some, after you had finished working for them. Like I don't know if it was a retirement or something. Seemed like you were.
Well, part of the retirement that I get now is connected to the railroad.
From the railroad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that helped you go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went to school in you went to school for a little while in Ada, didn't you?
Huh?
You went to school for a little while in Ada, Oklahoma. Yeah.
I did.
I remember you did that painting of the girl with the cello. I remember it was featured, and they had a brochure, a pamphlet, a painting that you did. It had different colors, almost like you were looking at her through stained glass or something. It seemed like she had a cello or something with her.
I don't remember.
A string instrument. But
Claude Smith was my mentor when I was going to school at Worcester, and later when he got sick and was sick for almost 3 years. I took his classes. And when he got sick, well, he came back and we taught together for quite a while, taught ceramics. We used to go to Mexico every year. We take students down to Mexico, what they call Monte Ortiz. We did that every year.
I remember you built a kiln. You had a kiln that you built at your house. A kiln?
Kiln, yeah.
You had a kiln at your house.
Yeah, I built 2 kilns,
Did
I
you?
think, yeah.
Yeah. That's a bit of work.
I guess they're still there.
Yeah. Did you ever do any sculpting or anything like that? I remember.
Yeah,
Seemed-
I
seemed
did,
like
but
you did a lot.
nothing, mostly
Yeah.
pottery,
Yeah. Pottery and painting was the 2 things you did the most.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
What do you know about the family history going further back, like the Dinwiddie family history here? Know anything about how they ended up out here, where they homesteaded from?
You know, I don't know that much. I know Dad was born at, just north of Cliff at Buckhorn. Grew up in Cliff.
Yeah.
In fact, he met mother, they were living in a little shack in Buckhorn when Dad met her. They got married.
She was living in a shack in Buckhorn. That was the Maxwell family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how they met?
No, I don't.
Yeah. He told the story years ago. I don't recall, but it may have been at a dance or something. But I remember him saying that I guess she was blonde headed, and he told somebody, "I'm going to marry that blonde headed girl."
Mm-hmm. She was cute.
Yeah. And I don't recall how old she was, but I think she was a little bit underage.
She might have been,
Because she used to say that when they went to get married, she had to exaggerate her age a little bit. Maybe she was 17 or something.
Yeah,
And,
probably.
and they asked her if she was over 18, and she didn't want to tell a lie. And so what she did was she wrote 18 on a piece of paper and put it in her shoe, and she said, "I'm over 18."
Pretty smart.
Yeah. Do you know how his family came here, or his parents, or?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know how Dinwiddie came here. Or Maxwell.
Do you know where they came from?
No.
No. I wonder if they homesteaded out here to get land under the Homestead Act.
Dinwiddie homesteaded land in Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the Dinwiddies was land commissioner. Dad was born in Buckhorn. They had land, but over the years, I don't really know what has happened to all of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's still out there. Cousins and what have you live on it.
And did they farm for a living, or did they have some kind of other profession that they did? Like his father?
No, they didn't farm, or actually they didn't raise that many cows either, cattle. Most of them found jobs.
Yeah. Do you remember how many brothers or sisters he had?
My dad,
Yeah.
he had one brother that's still alive. Um, he had a sister that passed away. I think he had two sisters, I don't remember. But the one brother's still alive.
And what about your mom? How many brothers and sisters did she have?
My dad
Oh, your mom, Lori.
and my brother.
Mac.
Mom had
There was Norma.
three. There's Norma was a sister.
Yeah.
Olin was a brother. Curtis Maxwell was a brother. Arthur
Arthur. Yeah.
was a brother. Yeah, I think that's it. And I remember they lived in that apartment house down on Main Street. I have memories of it. It had, I think, one or two apartments upstairs. And Maxwell's apartment was upstairs. And I remember it was a shared bathroom. You had to knock to make sure there wasn't someone in the bathroom.
I remember Arthur. He was really into the outdoors and hunting, wasn't
Yeah. He could shoot like nobody I've seen. I remember he's coming back from Lake Roberts one time and some deer ran across the road, ran up the hill. Before I even got the pickup stopped, he had bailed out, shot one, killed it.
he? Wow.
He was deadly.
Were any of them in the military? Did any of them go in the military?
You know, I think he was in the Navy, but I don't really remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he married a girl named Jean. I don't think he ever really got over her.
And then Curtis Maxwell, he had a big store here in town, didn't he? Maxwell
Yeah,
House.
he married a Pennington who, George Pennington, her dad, owned the warehouse. And I think he was from Arkansas. Her granddad, her dad. But anyway, he bought stuff and brought it back to Silver and had a warehouse. So, you know, they had the warehouse and a store and clothing store and I don't know what all that he developed from all that.
Was it Curtis that opened that store, the clothing store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. And that was called the Maxwell House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the money to open that came from George Pennington,
I see.
from the Penningtons, from his wife,
From his father-in-law.
from Ann.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then didn't he run for public office at some point?
he did.
What did he run for?
He was state representative for a while.
Oh, he was elected?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. He didn't stay in politics. I don't know why, huh? After he, worked as state representative, well, he kind of dropped out. He didn't seem to be that interested in politics anymore. I remember David was the oldest boy, had to have goat's milk when he was growing up. He was allergic to cow's milk, so they raised some goats and they used to give him goat's milk. David, I think he still, I don't know, I haven't asked him, but I think he still drinks goat's milk.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
Curtis Maxwell's son,
Yeah,
and he still lives here?
yeah, he's still here. He's an engineer,
Okay.
has engineering plus. Yeah. Yeah, he's done real well.
And your parents, they were Assembly of God, weren't they? The church, they went to Assembly of God? Is that what the families were going further back, or?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But yeah, George Pennington was, I remember going to a little church on 12th Street. And everybody else sat in the pews, but George had a chair, upholstered chair, soft chair that sat against the wall, but he said,
He was one of the
was a,
deacons or something.
yeah.
Do you remember when you were young, I don't know, maybe teenager, do you remember scaring a lady with a lizard at church?
What?
Do you remember scaring a lady with a lizard?
And
I
then-
heard a story that you came up to a lady, you said, "Hi, how are you doing?" You put your arm around her and you had a lizard in your hand right there.
Yeah,
You remember that?
yeah, I was a mean little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember me coming to see you the last time, it's a couple years ago. Like, I came up here to visit you, and I told you who I was, and I think you just woke up, so you were still, and you were laying there, and I was talking to you. You said, "Were you the one that got the fish hook in my ear?"
You
And
did, didn't
I
you?
said, "That was me." Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
The pond I cast out there and hooked you in the ear.
No, what happened was we had gone fishing, and we came back to the house. We were finished, and there was a fence around the house, and there was a gate, and you opened the gate to let me through, and I had my fishing pole slung over my shoulder, and I walked through all happy, and that fish hook was on the end of the pole back there, and as I walked through the gate, it caught you on the ear.
Really?
Yeah. I felt awful about that. And I guess you took some cutters or something and cut the fish hook and just pushed it on through.
Yeah, and pushed it on.
But boy, I thought, I don't know how Grandpa did that. But, sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Was I living in Silver Street then?
No, that was in Oklahoma.
Oh, it was in Oklahoma.
Yep.
We were living on Phyllis's mother's place? Oh, okay.
Do you remember that house had a little fence around it with a gate?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it was. That was all that same summer when we came to visit, you know, with your mom and dad. They brought me out there and I think I'm trying to remember. I think Arlene was there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably a short time, maybe a couple weeks. I don't think it was very long, but I had a lot of good memories from that visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to well, we went to the Peach Festival, like we talked about,
Mhm.
and there was we went to some kind of an amusement park there. I can't remember the name of it now, but there was an amusement park, like a Frontier Park or something that had rides and different things. We went to that with Phyllis and my sister Charity. Do you remember Charity?
Mhm.
She was real little then. She was probably 6 years old maybe at that time. She's living in Arkansas too.
You see?
Yeah. She's got three. She has 3 girls and a boy.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's doing well. Probably been a really long time since you saw her.
Boy. Missed a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, time passes quick. It's hard to believe. More coffee. Want some more?
Yeah, please.
One thing I wanted to do while I'm here, I know there's family cemetery, not here in Silver, but out there. I think it's in Cliff. Is there a family
In Cliff.
cemetery? Can you maybe draw me a map to show me where that is if I wanted to get to it so I could find it? And I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to find.
Let me clean this up a little bit.
Right off the road.
I'll just hit the pause button on this thing. When you were growing up, did you get to know your grandfather? Did you get to spend much time with him? Your dad's dad?
You know, I did, but not very much time. He ran a road grader, so some of my memories with him grading the dirt roads in Silver City, and he would get me up in the cab of the road grader, and I'd ride with him sometimes. I think Grandpa might have had a drinking problem, I don't know, but when we go to see him, sometimes they lived at Cliff. Grandma would say, well, Dad's not feeling well, and he'd close himself off. But I think it was probably because he was drinking. Yeah.
And what about your grandmother?
No.
Your dad's mom?
Yeah,
Did you get to spend much time with her?
no,
No.
not that much. And she lived at on Silver Street, where Mother and Dad did, had a little trailer house that they parked next to Silver Street, and she lived in it for a while. And then she left and went to live with Robert and Judy in Santa Fe. Robert was old enough then to,
Robert Dinwiddie,
yeah,
was that your dad's brother?
my dad's brother.
Okay. And what about your grandparents on your mother's side? Did you know them very well?
No, I didn't. I knew Grandma Maxwell, mother's mother, was one of my favorite people. I lived with her, she lived with us. Eventually died in the house there on Silver Street. She took care of my kids when I was working.
What was her name?
Bessie
Maxwell.
Yeah, really a fine woman. Yeah.
And what about her husband? Your mom's dad.
Yeah. They they didn't live together for some reason. I don't know. Grandma lived with Mother and Dad most of the time, and not so often. One of the things I remember about Grandpa, I used to leave school, run down there they lived on Main Street in an apartment building, and he always made chili and beans. And I'd run down there and eat chili and beans and crackers with Grandpa. So that's one of my good memories of him. It was in the 40s, I guess 45, when they had the war. They had the apartment and they had an old radio that was kind of arch-shaped that in the living room. And I remember the family crowding around this radio to listen to the war news. You know.
Did we have any family that was in the war?
Huh?
Did we have any family that was in the war, either that war or previous
No,
wars?
there was my uncle Arthur Curtis Maxwell was in there.
Oh, Curtis Maxwell was?
Yeah, he was in the service at that time. He was in the Marines. Arthur was in the Navy. Yeah.
Did Curtis go to the European theater, or was he in the Pacific? Curtis Maxwell, you said he was in the Marines. Did he go to Europe, or did he go to the Pacific?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
That
That would
I
be
don't
interesting
know.
to have some of those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came out, he was married to Ann
Yeah.
Maxwell, but he came out and they opened a grocery store first, and then later a clothing store and what have you.
What about previous wars, like World War I or the Civil War? Do you know if we had any family in those wars?
Not that I know of. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember any.
Did you do any sports when you were in high school? In school, did you participate in any sports? Did you play sports?
You know, I played football for a little while. That was later, mother wouldn't sign, you had to sign a release form. Mother wouldn't sign a form for me to play. But later, Curtis did, my uncle did. He signed a release for me to play. And the problem was that I probably wasn't good enough, I wasn't big enough and good enough to be on the A string. So I did a lot of time sitting on the bench. But, yeah,
She didn't want to sign because she was worried about getting hurt. Yeah.
yeah.
What other sports did they have in your school?
They had basketball.
Yeah,
Yeah, football, basketball, baseball.
baseball. Yeah. Did you do? Were you in the Scouts as a kid? Boy Scouts? Did you do Scouts when you were a kid?
Do what?
Did you do Boy Scouts? Were you in the Boy
Oh,
Scouts?
yeah, I
Yeah.
did. J.C. Penney's was a clothing store, and that's where you went to buy your scout clothes. You know, your uniform, your shirt, and I think we got the badges from the group itself. I don't remember.
When we went, I don't know if you remember this, we went deer hunting together.
Yeah, I know.
He was in, gosh, what year was that? I think it was in 2002.
Did we kill something?
No,
No.
but I had my black lab with me. His name was Dutch. I had him with me, and we went up in the mountains and went all over the place trying to find one, but we didn't have any luck. But I remember, and I think we were over somewhere close to the Arizona border,
Yeah.
and you were talking about the Gila Mountains, and you were telling me about camping in some of those areas when you were a kid, and hearing mountain lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was real pretty country.
Yeah, real pretty country.
And I guess back then it was pretty wild.
Yeah. Curtis owned a ranch, what they call Pine Lawn, and it stretched into Arizona. And that's probably where we went. I don't remember, but I think that's probably it.
We weren't on private land, it was all public. It was all public land where we went, it wasn't
Yeah.
private.
Yeah, well, all that would have been public land.
Yeah,
Even the part going into Arizona.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we went hunting and I killed a deer. I cleaned it, hung it up by its head and its horn. It started snowing, and we were around Saddle Mountain on the backside. Curtis got real nervous and scared because I wasn't smart enough to know that snow gets pretty deep. So we had to leave, and I left that deer hanging by its horn. A few years ago, I went back, and that deer was still
Oh, wow.
hanging on the fence. Nothing had eaten it or
Wow.
anything. It was all jerky, I
A few
guess.
years later.
Yeah,
You would think something would have got to it,
would have gotten it.
yeah. So you were born in 35. That was right in the middle of the Depression. Do you have any memories from, I guess you wouldn't have any memories from that time. Do you
I was
remember?
born in 38.
Oh, 38, that's right, 38. Did your mom and dad ever have any stories about that time frame growing up in the Depression?
You know, I do, but I didn't remember, I don't think I realized that it was a depression and that they were going through hard times. I remember we ate soup a lot.
Yeah.
Mother killed chickens. We had chickens in the house. She would raise the baby chickens, keep the hens, and kill the roosters.
They do a lot of gardening and canning.
Hmm?
Did they do a lot of gardening and canning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I know Grandpa, your dad, he worked for the Civilian Conservation Corps for a while. I don't know what they did.
You know, I don't either, but
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess they liked FDR pretty well because of that.
Yeah, back then they were the CCC.
Yeah.
They built dams, little dams across creeks. Did a lot of conservation work. Dad was strictly a mechanic back then, and he later went to work for the mine as a bulldozer operator. But he did the dozer and worked at home repairing cars too, but yeah.
He was a really good mechanic, wasn't he?
Huh?
I said he was a really good mechanic. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. And I don't know exactly where he learned it all, but he was pretty smart.
Yeah. How many years did he work for the mine?
Oh, long time.
Long time.
Yeah, 20 some odd years. I didn't, my dad only went to 3rd grade, but I remember he was pretty smart for a person, you know, with no more education than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty handy. I remember he didn't do art like you did, but he would, you know, he could make some different things. He used to make little monkeys out of peach pits. You remember that? Take a peach pit, and he'd know how to
Yeah.
carve it just right to make a monkey with it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. When I would go visit him, we'd make little projects. Like actually that same year that we went to visit you in Oklahoma, he helped me build a workbench, little workbench, and we actually hauled it out there with us to Oklahoma. And then, you know, we make bird houses and things like that. But yeah, I miss him. He was
Yeah, me too.
quite a man. Well, before we turn this thing off, is there any other memories or stories you can think of?
Yeah. You and Cindy grew up together, didn't you?
Oh, Cindy's my mom.
You and who grew up at the same time you did?
Well, I have a younger sister, Charity.
Charity, Charity.
Yeah. Yeah, Cindy's my mom. So I was born in '76, and then
Okay.
Charity was born in '79.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
And we moved around quite a bit growing up, but mostly lived in Texas, different parts of Texas.
What part of Texas?
There's different parts. We moved
Yeah,
around.
different.
Yeah. When I was real little, we lived for a little while in the Panhandle, in a little town called Skellytown, up north of Amarillo. And I know you came to visit us one time when we were there. I can't remember if you brought Phyllis with you or not. I think you may have. I think you may have been married to Phyllis at that time.
Yeah.
But that would have been. I think that would have been '79. Yeah.
Well, was Mother still alive then?
Your mom? Yeah, she was alive for another 10 years, so she passed in '89,
Yeah.
and I was 13 years old. I was pretty close to her.
Yeah.
You know, we would go. My sister and I would spend time with them during the summers. You know, when we were out of school, we would go stay with them there in Shallow Water. They had that property in Shallow Water,
Yeah.
and they did a lot of gardening. You know, they always had. I remember they always had a
Love to have a
garden.
garden.
They always had a garden, and I always remember the smell of dill, because I guess she used it in canning or pickling or something. But I always remember
She
it
did.
seemed like in the garden and in the house there was that smell of dill. You know, that
Mhm.
really reminded me of her. But yeah, that was hard losing her. You know, I really was really close to her. She kind of spoiled us a little bit.
Yeah.
She, what I remember about her, she's a really good cook. You know,
She was a good cook.
And,
I remember that. Yeah.
and she would always have good things to eat, and just loved on us a lot. And then of course Grandpa was great to spend time with as well, and he'd always be, you know, showing me things out in the shop, or you know, helping me with things. They had the honeybees. You had some honeybees for a while. didn't you?
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
We did have some honeybees. I got. I think it was 30 some odd beehives.
Oh wow.
Put them next to the ditch there.
Here in Silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the neighbors, of course, got to complaining, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I had to get rid of them.
Yeah. I ended up getting into beekeeping there for a little while, and I think it was that experience of being a child and going to visit Grandpa and him having that hive. You know, I was scared to get anywhere near that hive. I could see them flying around. I thought they'd get me. You know, but I remember him going and harvesting the honey and bringing it back, and then we would melt the wax off of it and have the honey, and I loved all that, you know, all that kind of stuff. We just really enjoyed it. Yeah. But yeah, Grandma was 13 I was 13 when Grandma passed. And I came out here for the funeral and was there with you and you and your dad. I stayed with you and your dad there at the house on
Yeah.
Silver Street.
Yeah, I was pretty close to Mother too. I didn't realize that I'd miss her as much as I did.
And my grandpa Evans, my great grandpa Evans, he was still here at that time in '89. They were I don't know where they were living, but they were here in Silver City. Do you remember them?
I do. I remember.
Barb's parents?
I remember Barbara. I went to get you kids. And they wouldn't let me have one.
Oh,
Wouldn't let me have you. So Grandpa Evans and I got in a fight.
oh.
And
Was that,
I took,
y'all got in a fight, huh? Was
Yeah.
that for Cindy?
no, with each other.
Yeah, but for who, what kids was it?
Oh, shit.
Must have been Cindy.
Cindy, I guess, was
Yeah.
working for A&W Root Beer.
Oh,
Barbara was. And I don't know why he wouldn't let me, take you out.
yeah.
But anyway, after we got in the fight, after it was all over, Nellie hit me with a cast iron skillet. I still got a scar. But we got, Vernon and I got to be pretty good friends after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Nellie and I never did get.
Hmm.
But Barbara and I did.
He was a character. He was a little guy. He was real short,
Yeah,
but
he was short.
his personality was bigger than his physical size.
Yeah.
He liked doing the CB radios. He had the
Yeah.
antenna on his house, and he would get on
Yeah.
there, and he loved that, talking on that CB radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I came up here for Grandma's funeral, '89, he gave me some silver dollars, I guess $50.
Oh,
Yeah. But
huh. Yeah.
I think he was he worked as a guard for the internment camps during the war. When they put the Japanese in the camps,
Oh.
he was a guard for those camps. I don't know if that was around here or somewhere else,
Yeah, I don't either.
but
Huh.
I know they had some of those camps somewhere here in New Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, I guess I'll cut this off.